Hey, yo, y'all. I'm back. What it do? What it do? What up? What up? What up? Yo, yo. As you see on the screen, as you see on the screen, got a new name, got a new face for tonight, and you can literally see my face. I just kind of, yeah, I do somewhat some graphics, but gotta sometimes spice it up for y'all. Since over here I'm about recipes anyway. I'm not about game. I'm about giving you the recipe instead of giving you game. But here's the deal. Um, yeah, you see with the name, Mr. Magneto. Well, it's actually three words in one. So you got Mac, you got Magneto, and you got kinetics. You put all three together, Magneto. That's how you get that. But yeah, Magneto for sure. And at one point in time, I used to say Magneto Mac because I just thought there was something beyond Mackin, and I believe there is. Obviously, Mackin is what it is, and that's where it will be. But beyond that, there has to be something defined, as I will do with this live stream, defining male nurture. Now, it's going to take a little bit to get some notifications out there because I just kind of posted this live stream, kind of kind of a last minute thing, but you know, it'll get around given this time of the day, if you will. But yeah, there's a purpose, there's a method to my madness as to why I decided to go with the sort of the max side to this male nature, male nurture. Well, I guess you can kind of tie in both, right? But we're going to do that. That's what we're about to do. But yeah, instead of me saying Magneto Mac, I'll now say Magneto, or in this case, for now, Mr. Magneto. But yeah, let's get going here. And just want to talk to y'all about this because a lot of people talk about male nature. Yeah, a lot of people talk about male nature, but a lot of people don't talk about male nature like I talk about male nature because they tend to think that male nature is about males, not men. Most people think that, and no, that's not the case. Male nature is about men, not males, because a male, if he's not trying to progress into a man, he's more like a female that's not trying to progress into a woman. And especially if you go based on my logic of the female woman, male man logic, which basically I state that male nature is godly and female nature is ungodly. So with that said, here's how we tie in with what I'm talking about tonight with male nurture. Now, if you were to look up nurture itself, because given my logic of male nature is godly, this will actually make a lot of sense to a lot of people what I'm talking about tonight. So yeah, so nurture, just means like to care for, to encourage the growth or development of. Basically, you have to nurture the nature of such things, such animals, such plants, such individuals. Yes, such individuals. So basically, if you tie in my logic of male nature is godly, well, it's about you nurturing the godly nature of that male individual. You're trying to nurture it, you're trying to take care of it, you're trying to cultivate that individual like you would a plant, planting a seed. Well, isn't a man's offspring considered a seed, whether male or female, whether boy or girl? What's good, Logan? What's good, family? What's good, cool gent? Good to see y'all showing up in the building for sure. But yeah, the man's offspring is called a seed. And what? You got to tend to your seed. You got to what? Nurture your seed. So with male nurture, that's what this is all about. Basically, the definition of male nurture from my channel, and especially coming from me. Actually, I'm gonna just say it like I'm gonna say it because nobody else has. So I'm gonna claim it because it's me. It's all me. Y'all know it. Uh, male nurture. If one were to define it, it would be as such. Male nurture is the the care taken to the growth or the nature of the masculine individual or the masculine gender. I'll have to probably repeat that again. I know I kind of jumbo that, if you will, but I'll have to just, I'm just kind of saying this off the top of my head. So that lets y'all know, like, I'm truly coming from an organic place. But that's kind of what male nurture is all about. I could have easily just wrapped this live stream up, said thanks a million, and that's it. But we're going to go further into it. We are. So y'all heard sort of the first initial aspect of what nurture is in general, which is to care for and encourage the growth or development of. Does that sound like something that needs to be done to a young boy growing into a man? Yes, your seed, fellas. That's what you have to do. The real aspect of male nurture. You have to apply male nurture to his male nature. And like I said, male nature is godly. So you have to take care of the godliness that's in him. You have to protect that. You have to tend to it. That means the young boy is going to want to grow. He's going to want you to teach him things, show him things, teach him about reverence and um, positivity, all that. And it actually ties in with uh, this whole magneto side of things, because I've said before that your magneto defines your libido, but over here we just say magneto. That defines your libido. So even to help your young boy grow into a man, you have to help him increase his libido. Don't just let boys be boys. Let boys become men. That's what we need to say more in this day and age. And there's a way you have to show him how to be a man, how to have him grow more into this aspect of being a man. So there are a lot of guys that never became men, these males that never had the true male nurture for their male nature. And so they never harnessed in a lot of their true gifts, talents, and strengths. They never really became that type of man, that man in general. So a lot of people can go around here kind of giving their take. They kind of give their take on male nature, but y'all know from my perspective, I'm pretty right to the point. There's no sugarcoating it. There's no way around it. So if male nature is godly, like I said before, the male nurture side of it is taking care of that godliness, tending to that godliness in that individual. And this can happen whether it's a boy becoming a man, or even a male trying to become a man, or even a man that's just not a complete man, but you just trying to look after him, help him to kind of recultivate himself, revitalize himself. There's this thing of transferring a plant to a better pot. A lot of individuals out here, a lot of fellas out here are like these plants. They got to be transferred to different pots because the plant they were in, it could either one be contaminated or he outgrew the pot. And I think a lot of guys can relate to really the aspect of outgrowing the pot for sure. Sometimes you outgrow that pot and you gotta get in a bigger pot, man. You gotta get in a bigger pot. A lot of times they say, like, even with fishes and uh certain fish tanks, their length, their size is relative to the size of the tank. And maybe it was the type of species or breed of fish that can grow real large, but it can't grow large due to the tank, the what environment that it's in. So think about that too as well in regards to male nurture. That young man or that man, whoever, they're only going to grow as much as the environment that they're around. And some people argue that you are the sum total of your hometown, and what you're going to do about that if that's the case, if this is the reality that you are the sum total of your hometown. By now, a lot of y'all know that I am from St. Louis, and so there's a lot of things about St. Louis that can really represent you in a bad light in regards to the sum total of your hometown. But I was always the different one to want to leave that hometown because I knew it'll hold you down. You can still come around, but just watch which ground you stand on when you come back home. See? And that's important. You got to think about all these things about a young man as he's growing up, even a grown man, but he's not a complete man. So he still has male tendencies and not man tendencies. But all this ties in with the way that that male was nurtured and how that helped him with his male nature, depending on his level of male nature, his level of godliness. How was his seed tended to? A lot of guys have corrupted seeds. A lot of guys are corrupted seeds. We see this all the time. This demon time. What's good, Mike? Good to see you in the building as well. There's a lot of corrupted seeds out here. A lot of guys that weren't what? Nurtured. I mean, can you really say that the poison put upon a seed was actually nurture? Some people would say, yeah, that was a bad nurture. No, it wasn't really nurture. It was just neglect and abuse. And that's what guys talk about when they finally confess to the way their life was. That's kind of what DMX did he not? Towards his latter days, he said he had a lot of abuse, a lot of neglect. Basically, his seed wasn't tended to. His ground was poisoned and polluted. He wasn't able to grow and blossom the way he wanted to. Yeah, he was probably the rose that grew from the concrete, like Tupac talked about, but roses are not meant to grow from the concrete. They're strong enough to crack through concrete. They're strong enough to crack through concrete, thankfully. However, there was a time when concrete didn't exist. And so this is important in regards to male nurture. You have to get the young infancy with the infancies of tendencies and tending to him of his tendencies. Like you have to help him to not have to think about the concrete that can try to smother his growth. Yeah, it's good that roses can grow from the concrete, but that's not the way life was intended for that rose. And despite what we think about this society, this is not the way life was intended for us to be, especially as men. 1 second. And by the way, I got something special for y'all. Check this out on the screen. All right, I'm back. So as you saw the astronaut. As y'all know, that's becoming the logo of this channel. And yes, in many ways, Magneto had to fly into outer space many times. I believe he fought Colossus in outer space. That's another story. We'll probably have to talk about that later. And actually, behind me, you see shrapnel. The shrapnel is actually from an aircraft that Magneto broke apart. But in this case, you can say that I was able to break apart. Maybe I was stopped an airplane from crashing. It was obviously unoccupied, but someone was trying to use that airplane as a weapon, and I was able to break that airplane up into thousands of pieces. Yes. But with that said, Magneto wore a cloak, not a cape. Keep that in mind too. That'd be actually part of this live stream, the cape, because that ties in with male nurture. I'll let y'all brainstorm on what I mean by that. But yeah, the whole world in his hands. You saw with the astronaut holding the world. And this has to be somewhat taught to all of the masculine gender, about the whole world being in your hands. This life, this world, all that is in your hands. You don't necessarily have to take matters into your own hands, but there are times when you could take a lot of hindrances into your own hands. You know, things that are holding you back, things that you can do to improve yourself. Hey, what's good? What's good, W? What's good? What's good? Yeah, you exist to me though. You definitely exist to me for sure. But yeah, let's get it. We want to really talk more about the male nurture. This is important, and this probably could be something you could think about. W. Um, think about this, like as I just said earlier, with the lack of cultivation and motivation for the masculine gender. That's really where the nurturing aspect is. A lot of guys lack the nurturing. And yes, this whole idea of a son husband, this is being brought up a lot lately, right? But see, here's this idea of male nurture. That's supposed to come from another masculine gender, not a feminine gender. See, the feminine gender, here's the deal, like man has seed, he plants seed, and that starts to, grow the seed and birth the boy. But the seed is still growing. It's just underneath the ground trying to blossom, you know? It was able to crack the shell of the egg, crack the shell of the seed. That's what the birth is about, basically. And then once he starts to sprout, based on the seed being tended to, taken care of, like basically the father tending to the seed, tending to the garden, and also the mother doing her job to check upon the garden too from time to time. But see, that's also in the case of how the mother makes sure that the son is doing good based on what the father has already done to the garden. See, the mother is more or less the monitor, the father is more or less the fertilizer, the one that actually planted the seed into the garden. But we could talk about that definitely another day. But here's the deal. Here's the real aspect of the feminine gender in regards to the male nurture side of the masculine gender. When you see a man starting to blossom, that's when obviously most of the ladies would love to say, yes, I do love the smell of that rose. You smell his rose, sweetie. He smells good, don't he? You smell his fragrance. You smell his vibrance. You don't smell the rotten and the decay amongst him. You smell them, like, yeah, you smell me, like, but it's a good smell, you know what I mean? It's good. It's not a funk. It's not an odor, you know? It's something good about that. Nothing like a woman that's picking up a rose and she's smelling it while she got her shades on and got a pina colada on the back porch. You ain't always got to be on no beach, ladies. You could be on your back porch looking at the sun, looking at the birds, even if, let's say, it's kind of off season, but you still have some aromas of that fragrance trapped in an oil bottle to keep things nice and spicy for the wintertime. You still smelling the petals of that rose, things that your son left behind for you to still keep him in mind. Yes. So with that said, Logan has said some things. You said Logan, that demigod existence, like our Father up in heaven, we nurture our creation like the Most High Yah nurtures us. Exactly. You're getting what I mean by male nurture. Male nurture, which is different from male nature. You nurture the nature of that particular masculine gender. And like I said, male nature is godly in the first place. So when you see these males not acting like men or acting in their true male nature, they're being more like females. It sounds complicated, but it's actually simple once you start to digest what I'm talking about. Like I said, I'm here to give y'all recipes, not game, which is why I flow so fluently with what I say. You said, Logan, we are the sons of the God. We are the demigods. Then you said warriors in the garden. Yes, and we trying to separate the wheat from the tare. You said not a gardener in a war, right? You actually protecting the garden. Guess what? Because guess why? Because one is trying to burn that garden, right? They're trying to burn it. Ain't that what Killmonger did to T'Challa's garden in Wakanda. He wanted the whole garden burnt. He wanted it all burnt. Maybe a couple of those purple herbs for him and only him. And I'm like, you stupid. You got to grow more of that stuff. You need some for you. If you're going to take on this power, you're going to need to keep it growing. That's, yeah, hey, you can't just burn the whole garden. You can't burn the whole garden and expect for there to still be more of those powerful plants you need to keep going. That's like for a pot smoker, if you will. Not to bring too much up about 420, but hey, if all the pot was gone and you couldn't grow more, what you going to do? See? But that's the deal there. That's kind of like in this case, protect your boys, protect these warriors. That we're not doing enough of actually protecting each other, Logan. Like in the garden, and ladies, become more of those warriors too. You know, be not the front line, but the backbone. That is really what it means to be the backbone, or actually, as it says in scripture, the rib. You protect those what? Vital organs. That's what the rib is for. The rib protects the vital parts of the body. And ladies, you should be protecting the vital parts of a man. But half the times with a lot of the feminine gender, not all, but a lot, they take for granted his male nature. And especially if she sees that he has a lack of nurture. And instead of actually protecting his rib, protecting his side, she stabs him in the side. She backstabs him. It happens a lot. Betrayal is actually a form of a backstab. Why do you think it hurts men so bad when that takes place? Because he had you so close to his vitals, sweetie, and you took his trust that he had for you for granted, and you hurted him. So no matter what your excuse is, you hurted him when he trusted you to actually protect him in that way, protect that part of him. You said also, Logan, protect the garden like Adam, a dominant man, a domination, a dominion. Oh yeah, from that standpoint of dominion and even direction, because I'm more of the guy that says I direct versus dominate, because you know the popular opinion about the dominance mindset and dominate. But yeah, I can see how that applies in regards to the dominion of things, right? Because that was also written. But you know, we see how man has taken that in a different direction, how his aspect of dominion, Logan, has really been demolition. See? He even applies that to demigod. He puts in this idea of demolition. Yes, demolition. See? And there's a lot we could break down with the word demo, but we just gonna say demon for a lot of them. We're gonna say that. And for any guy that's not trying to keep the garden, the nurturing side, taking care of these seeds, looking out, hoping to cultivate more seeds, they want to see these wildfires take place amongst the masculine. These guys are demons, part of the demolition. They're not part of true dominion. They think they are. No, they're not in that. So like I said earlier about I said one half of nurture. So the other half of it was the process of caring for and encouraging the growth of development of someone or something. I believe I said that earlier. I guess it was in a different way, because the verb aspect of nurture is to care for, to encourage the growth or development of. So that's the verb. That's actually how you nurture. So male nurture is about that. You guiding men. Men need that. Men need to know that they're being looked out for. That yes, Logan, I agree. Yep, loyalty matters to a man. A man's best friend, a dog, God. God is loyal to us when we stay loyal to him. Protection and loyalty. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. So that's that. You know. So yeah, the verb aspect of having to the encourage of the growth. You're gonna make sure if you got uh If you up here growing some tequila, what plant is for tequila? Ain't it like an agave plant, if I'm not mistaken? Or if you're making some wine, you tend to that grape, whatever you're fermenting as a fruit. I want to try strawberry wine. That's gonna be a good one. Ooh wee. And yeah, by the way, as a side note, talking about some sweet stuff. Yeah, I had apple pie a la mode. Yes, an apple pie a la mode earlier. See, I don't just do apple pie, and I don't just do ice cream by itself. You put the ice cream and the apple pie together, that's what they call an apple pie a la mode. You know what I mean? So I do things like that, and that's really me just nurturing myself, helping myself, like with what I think is peaceful, what helps me to continue to grow as an individual. So obviously, I like hanging around fellas that are more of my type of speed, classy, laid back gentlemen, just like Cool Gent 87. Of course, you too, Logan. Cool Gent, you said a man wants to be honored. Facts. Yeah, we want to be honored, appreciated, etc. We really want to be reverenced. We want to be seen as everything, right? Chicks love to worship guys because of their body, but they never like to worship guys because of their mind. They never like to praise guys for their mind. None of that. It's always about his body. Yeah, I got more than just a nice body, sweetie. I got a nice mind too. I got a nice heart. And a lot of fellas are like that. Um, a lot of fellas are like that. But I believe in these times, that male nurture, the thing that a lot of guys so desperately need, and I'm going to say that, and I don't say that in a bad way. You're only going to get that from another man. And that's a major pause. And I say that for the fact that if you really knew what your nature was, you'd be looking for support from other men, you know, and you would only be around a woman that can give you that reciprocation of what you normally get from men. Because women, you become a part of him, right? So you merely do what he does because you want him to know that you're a part of him, literally. That's where that whole yin and yang comes from when the two synergies come together. That's why I can't see how guys want to be not wanting to be around women and how a lot of these gals not wanting to be around men. But we different over here because we trying to bring men and women together. That's what we do. Once people start to really know what it means, and it's not me trying to really plead my case, plead the fifth. That look, y'all see, I got perfect examples of how this can be done. I'm not just out here talking about problems. I have solutions. I have what besides the philosophies I have the practicality to what I'm saying if you applied it. And I'm also very pragmatic in my philosophies and practicality of those philosophies. And that's why I was able to come up with this male nature defined live stream, but also it's based on my inverted perspective. So it's like the magnetic pose. We keep talking about that magnetic, that magnetic, the opposite poles. You can't just want to know about one side of the pole. You got to know about the other side too. You can't just know about how the magnets attract. You have to also know why they repel as well. Because sometimes the repel is just as good as the attract if you know how to counteract and balance, to be exact. You said, Logan, there's a reason why I gravitated to characters like Captain America, Batman, and Batman. That alpha is like dominance and leadership in full mastery as a man. I also love to study the Greek and Roman rulers. Right, that's true too. That's very true. But yeah, we want to I want y'all to really get like where I'm coming from with just beyond dominance is direction. Like because I really preach that over here. Like I hear enough about dominance all the time, and that's not a shot at you at all, Logan. So yeah, don't feel no type of way. But I want to really get y'all to the realm of direction, direct versus dominance and dominate. Over here, I'm all about direct versus dominate. But dominance in the sense of dominion, that's a good thing, but not dominance just based on you just trying to dominate. There's a difference. You said W. You said A woman wants to be honored and respected, and women a man wants to be honored and respected, and women want to be loved. Exactly. No one's talking about that, sweetie. No one's talking about that. But I've always believed in it. I've always known. That's why I'm like all these chicks out here talking about all this being a provider and all this $100,000 talk. That's all cap because you can have all that and still not feel loved. And there's been a lot of tragic stories of young ladies who could have had it all and it wasn't enough and they still gave up on life. I won't speak no more of that. I won't speak no more of it for the sake of this live stream, but my condolences to a lot of young gals who thought they had it all, but it still wasn't enough, you know? But yeah, you said Logan, you said the ancient rulers I truly gravitated to the power, the respect, reverence, praise, honor, and so much more. That divine presence and existence, living beyond the flesh, living like a demigod. And notice how whatever qualities they had as the masculine, it was actually more gratified, more magnified, more than any other individual because they were operating in their true masculinity, probably in all of their true chakra. But as I like to say over here, they had their true magneto, their magneto. They had all that truly going, like the magnet that they had in them was truly on par. It was truly spinning. It was truly rotating. Did y'all know that an electric motor is powered by magnets? Yes, literally, the magnetic poles is what causes the electric motor to turn. Yeah, that causes the electric motor to turn. A lot of people don't know that. Okay, but all it takes is a spark, and all it takes for you is to plant the seed for the spark, and that's sort of actually as to how a lot of procreation takes place within the womb. You know what I'm saying? Takes a spark. Takes a spark, and that's why there's that extra chromosome. So yes, and that's where the true love comes from. For a lot of the ladies listening, for that male nurture, that's why you're there to be his helpmeet. That's why you're there. And let's speak more on that electric stuff because you said, Logan, we are electrical beings, nerves and all. Well, I got something for y'all, and I've said this before. So y'all know about the measurement of electricity called watts, WATT. Yes, watts or watt, right? WATT. Well, I'm gonna say this. My acronym for watt is woman or women. Yeah, let me say that over. My acronym for watt is women attracted to testosterone. Write that down, that part. WATT, watt. What? Yeah, philosopher Alan Watts. That's it. That's it. W. Yeah. Women attracted to testosterone. Watt. She attracted to your electricity. Okay. She attracted to that energy, that whatever you got in you. But see, that's based on how you blossom though, or based on how you are getting to that point of blossoming. She actually likes the type of plant, the type of flower that you are in many ways. As much as a lot of the feminine wants to bloom, the masculine wants to bloom too. We just have our different ways of blooming. And I often thought, like, is plant more of a feminine topic or masculine topic? Well, here's the deal. There are feminine plants. There is a male plant and there's a female plant. Y'all didn't know that. Check it out. They have male green peppers, they have female green peppers. So what do you think the male and the female green peppers are doing? So yes, there is a feminine and a masculine in everything in life, even in plant life. No one wants to talk about this once again. Let's go. But we're here. That's why we're here. You said, Logan, guided by the Father in all things. You do. Exactly. Even though they try to turn everything around and make it like the mother. Well, it's funny they trying to turn things around and make it seem about the mother and forget all about the fact that there was actually a father before the mother. But no one, oh, let me stop. Let me stop. Let's go. Let's go. You said W. The community doesn't want to hear solutions. It is easy to complain. Yeah, wallow in the misery. Misery loves company. Sometimes you got to take some people out their misery. But I say that in a positive way. We try to offer an escape instead of them using people for scapegoats. Bring them over here to the Thanosphere. Started by me and Coogee in '87. I guess we can include Logan too, huh? I just play. But yeah, that's what we're talking about though. We're over here, we're in a different space. I see my channel a lot of times as like a CPR channel, reviving things, that's what it's all about. Sometimes you have to revive plants. Like I said earlier, sometimes as an individual, you grow to a certain point in your life, even as a man, where you don't feel fully nurtured, whether amongst the feminine or the masculine. You feel like what people aren't helping you grow, or maybe you have outgrown them. So, like I said, it's like going back to that pot analogy that I said earlier. Maybe your pot is contaminated, or maybe you have just outgrown your pot. Either way, you got to make a change. Either way, you said, cool, gent. Major facts. I was thinking about that today. Direct, that is. Yeah, you already know, man. You already know. You said, Logan, sometimes I imagine statues built in my honor, not for them to worship me, but as reverence and respect. That's it. That's all it is. And men need more plaques. You shouldn't just have a plaque because you're an athlete. Philosophers had statues built. Maybe one day Logan will have a statue built for him. Look forward to that, fam. Yeah, yeah. Keep that in mind about the watts. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. I've been actually I came up with that. Man, I came up with that like 2 years ago. People still ain't caught up. People still ain't caught up to that. Given the date of this live stream, I came up with that watt. Yeah, that watts over 2 years ago, man. So yeah, but let's continue to flow on with just so yeah, I explained the verb aspect of nurture, the care for and encourage, uh, care for and encourage the growth or development of something, uh, or to bring up. That's a similar terminology for it. And the noun aspect of nurture is the process of caring for and encouraging the growth or development of someone or something. So it sounds similar to the verb aspect where you care for that thing, but the noun aspect is the process of how you care for that thing. So there should be a process of male nurture. Guys don't even have processes of how to nurture things, whether it is of the feminine or the masculine. Guys don't have a process for this. Okay. They don't even have a process of elimination. Either way, you need a process for progress. Where's your process at? That's something no one has talked about. So why should they even profess anything if they have no process in order to progress? But yet they call themselves professors. You can't process, you can't profess if you have no process or progress. Like you have none of that. You got some people around here like, it gets me, man. But that's why we're here. I've never called myself a philosopher. I've never called myself a professor. I'm just Rayology XM. And I've been putting that together. You know what I'm saying? That's all I've been doing over here. And y'all look at my community tab. I've taken even my name a step further with Rayology XM. I didn't even, be honest with you, I didn't even like my name change at first. But people were encouraging me to do that because they like, your channel finna go to another level. My name originally here used to be theotherayj, and now I'm just Rayology XM. And I didn't understand the evolution of this name. At first, it was about just Rayology XM. It sounds like space age, right? It sounds space agey, galaxy like, had the whole world in my hands, kind of like Sirius XM, but Rayology XM. Some people think I got a radio voice. That's what's up. Yeah. But then I take it a step further, with the RXM. The RX is for the medication, and everybody talking about medication, pills, red pills, things like that, right? All that actually is part of this title of this live stream, male nurture. Because over here, what? We give out the recipes, not game. And what does RX stand for? It's Latin for recipe. Look it up. So it's crazy how like there's a method to the madness of my name itself and how that ties in with male nurture. What a boy ain't gonna be healthy if you don't feed him food with good recipes. He's not gonna grow right. So keep that in mind too. What you feed him, not just how you tend to that seed. How does that seed grow into the plant that it is, the strong and what healthy plant? You gotta what? Feed it right. A process of what? Feeding it right, feeding him right, even feeding her right, feeding her like W said earlier. What did she say earlier? Let me get back to that. Let me get back to what she said earlier. We gonna continue to build on that. She said earlier, once again, a man wants to be honored and respected, and women want to be loved. That's how you feed her. You feed her with love. She's already there to be your helpmeet. And the only way she's gonna be satisfied is if you show her that love for being your helpmeet. That's the reason why she's there. And a lot of the feminine got to get back to that. The only reason why you actually should be around him, sweetie, is because he loves you and he's shown you that love. Sounds pretty simple, but it's pretty complicated for a lot of them to get their mind around it. Yeah, so it's very complicated for a lot of chicks to get their mind around something so simple. Well, you got to be a provider. Sweetie, that is not love. Come on now. That ain't love. Does he love you? He'll give you what? Hush money. He don't love you. Let's go. Let's go. But to me, I could have done the different thing with this thumbnail. Y'all saw the thumbnail. It was just a simple silhouette of a man with his boy walking into the sunset, looking at the sun. It could have been a sunrise too, but it was actually a twilight because you didn't see the sun, but you saw the glimpse of the light. And y'all know it by now. Y'all know by now at my channel, I'm big on this idea of a twilight for the feminine gender. The feminine gender that's truly accepting your light or even a piece of your light, even when you're not around. To me, that's a twilight. So it's funny how in that thumbnail, if you want to put all this together, the father walking with his son, looking at the twilight, whether in the morning or in the evening. So he's even teaching his son about femininity at those times. Y'all didn't get that, man. How does he learn about femininity at such a young age? Well, because of his mom. Oh yeah, that's we just mom gonna cook us something good. Yeah, you know how moms do it. Yeah, we just out here chilling, and she know we out here kicking it, and we gonna go back into the diner area. She cooking that good food for us. She probably watching me and you out looking at the twilight right now, looking at the sunset. It was dusk, it was dawn or whatever, and it's this twilight right now. That twilight effect. She being a twilight. She smiling, looking at me and you, son. But let's say they just the father and the son. It could be just a couple of brethren. I don't like to really say homies. I mean, homies cool, but that just sounds so much thuggish, ruggish to the bone. But and nothing against Bone Thugs and Harmony, but I'm just saying like just too much of that gang stuff. Like we're trying to get away from all that. We're trying to be on some brother stuff, brethren. So it could be a bunch of brethren just chilling. You know, the only war that's amongst the brethren, like what Logan talked about earlier, is just us brethren looking out for each other, protecting our seeds, our ideas, our family, our kinfolk, our ladies, our investments, our homes. And we just out taking a sip while the sun go down, or taking a sip while the sun goes up. You take a sip of the wine while the sun goes down, whatever your drink is. It could be a Gatorade after y'all worked out. Yeah, after y'all worked out, y'all got a little drink, sip on that Gatorade, or maybe y'all got a little wine or something, man. You know what I mean? Sip on some of that. Sip on whatever you like to sip on in the evening time, right? Or in the morning, y'all sip on some smoothies. Y'all like, yo, me and my homie, we meet. I said I didn't mean to say homies. Me and my brethren, we out here like trying to help each other get up a little earlier so we can get things done. Yeah, a lot of us we ain't morning persons, we ain't morning people, but we try to actually help each other get up a little earlier to get some things done so we can have a little bit more of the day to rest. You know what I'm saying? Then get back into the grind before the sun goes down after a little rest. Like trying to actually what nurture each other through that motivation, right? That's what it's all about. You said, Logan, As a man, we must be scholars, teachers, artists, educated, righteous, travelers, lovers, philosophers, and so much more. The Renaissance universal man. Yes. Yes, that's what we all about over here. I'm all about trying to have other Magnetos amongst me, other Magneto Max or Magnetos. I like that even better. I'm trying to have a bunch of other guys where we all just hone in and we harness things together, right? That's what we're trying to do. And then, you know, have ladies around that celebrate that, that appreciate that, right? So, because nothing like a celebration without some ladies throwing some confetti. It ain't the same. It's nothing like some gorgeous chicks throwing confetti, celebrating the men amongst them. It's a gorgeous thing, man. Yeah, it's a gorgeous thing, man. We trying to get back to that. We trying to get back to that groove, man. You know what I mean? Let's go. Nothing like enjoying your celebration and having a nice little lipstick on the side of your face or on the side of your collar. The chick really, the lady, she really enjoying just being around you and how she was part of that nurture of you, part of that support. See, what hurts a feminine more is when she's done all for a guy. She's even been part of his nurture, but he don't appreciate it. He didn't what? Love her. Like W said before. See, a lot of times she's taking on that masculine trait, which in that case is not a bad thing. It's just that she was just that way to the wrong guy. But a part of her felt hurt that she was part of that tending and that nurturing of that guy who didn't love her. That hurts her. It wasn't the fact that he left her for another gal. No, what hurted her was you took my love for granted. You could have at least still had love for me. I don't care about her. You at least could have still showed some love for me. That's what hurts me. And she just got that tear streaming down her face when she say that. It hurts her so bad that she can't even yell. And she just shaking. But men feel that same way when a gal walks out on him because he thought. See, it's a little different for a man. You see how this goes? It's different for a man because it's not just what he has nurtured. It's not just what he has nurtured. It's the nurture he thought he had. Ooh, but he got poisoned. He got backstabbed. He got stabbed in his rib by the same rib. Or that rib broke. That rib what? Wasn't strong. Should be a strong rib, right? She should be a strong rib, but damn, man, I broke my rib, man. I took a fall and my rib broke. See, ladies, when he fall, you're not supposed to break. Woo! Men gonna sometimes take a fall. Lee, what's good, Lee? I see you in the building. Lee was talking about failures at his channel earlier. Subscribe to Lee when y'all get a chance. Go and subscribe to Lee. Uh, when a man falls, when he fails, sweetie, you're supposed to still be that strong rib. I've had many times I've failed in life, or many times when I failed. Thankfully, I had a strong rib. Now, I haven't always had a strong lady to be my rib, but that's the importance of what I'm saying. That's my point. Nothing like being the one that falls and your ribs break. Ooh, that's a painful feeling. You can't even breathe right when your ribs break. Ooh, it hurts to breathe when your ribs break. Because when you breathe, your ribs move. Ooh, she ain't even helping you to breathe, fellas. Don't get around a chick that's gonna crack on you when you fall. Because when you fall and you crack, your rib crack, it's gonna be hard for you to breathe. It's gonna be hard for you to what? Get up. Something to think about. You said, Logan, use the acronym of life. Living in fulfillment every day. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All about that, man. All about that. You said W, you said a man that loves a woman will give a woman his all. And see, I understand exactly where you're coming from with that W. But even better than just his all, he'll give a woman a lot. Because if he gave you his all, he has nothing more left to give. Keep that in mind. If a man gives you his all, he has nothing more left to give. But if he gives you a lot, that means that he still has much more to give. He's just giving you a lot more than what he would normally give anybody else. And a lot of men say that when he really what sees you as a part of him, his rib. He'll say things he'll finally say something like, man, I normally don't do this for everybody, but I'm doing this for you. Like, I normally, you know me, I normally don't be like this. I normally don't do things like this. And that's how you know. That's how you know. Especially when he's consistent with it. That's how you know. That's exactly how you know. You said also W. Excuse me 1 second, by the way. You said he will naturally provide for a woman he truly wants to marry. And see, and when you say marry, we're going to really be about that spiritual marriage versus them papers. Like, because we see people sign papers, but they're not really married. See, when you are like the rib, that's actually the real marriage. And of course, at this channel, I've always said that sex is marriage. But see, that's like when you truly become a part of him. That's why men have to make sex more sacred, because you don't have sex with someone you know doesn't love you. You don't. You don't even entertain the thought and the idea of it, because you know she is not trying to nurture your nature. If she's not trying to reciprocate the nurturing side of your nature as a man, then yeah, don't even have sex with her. Don't even have that marriage with her. Just like they say in the car industry, when you put the engine together with the frame, they call that the marriage. So when man and woman come together, that's literally marriage. And they still are doing it like that around the world. It's just that here in America, they have papers, and that makes it more complicated. Just because you sign the papers don't mean y'all truly married. You said also Lee, you said yeah, we're not a gang, we're a family. Exactly. Brethren. We're about the brethren, and we're about the sistering. So basically the sistering, instead of just calling them sisters, if you're not married to her, she better be still acting like your family. That's what we need to get back to. You know what I'm saying? They using that term out of entitlement. And I tell you right now, a lot of these males that aren't real men, and they haven't had that true male nurture of their true male nature, they peep it already. They don't want you calling them brother. They don't see you as family. They look out for their own team. They already let you know that they're not your brother. And they come at that with sometimes a very violent response. So a lot of these males already get it. A lot of these males already get that. But a lot of these females still like to use that term sister as an entitlement. It's not even an endearment no more. They use it as an entitlement. But it's like, heck, I don't even like calling gals that I haven't been intimate with my sister in the first place. But at least you can act like I would want my sister to act. And you're not even acting like that. So I can't even call you a sister. So to me, the real sisterin, she reminds me of what my sister is like, or what a real sister is like. And we don't see enough of that either. That nurture of that male nature, nurturing his nature, like you looking out for him too, ladies. You making sure that no Jezebel tries to come around his way. That's nurturing, protecting him, his growth, that seed that he is. Now, I talked a little bit earlier, not to digress, but I mentioned the thumbnail. We had 54 minutes and we still clicking and ticking. And I appreciate everybody stopping by. We not done. We not done. Okay. But I mentioned earlier about the thumbnail, about the father and the son walking into the sunset. And I said to myself, before I was going to go with that thumbnail, there was another thumbnail I was going to go with. And I changed my mind because in regards to this live stream of male nurture defined. I was going to do a thumbnail of a so-called black father with his black son. But to me, that's the most controversial picture right now. That's the most controversial image right now. It's a black father with his black son. Why? Because it's shunned on, it's taboo, and there's a stigma behind it. And it's a lot of controversy. So I say, you know what? Even though to me that is the true essence of the male nature, male nurture, even the whole demigod effect that Logan was talking about earlier. Oh, we don't want to see black fathers with black sons. You know, only a few like W would appreciate that, but for the general, nah. No, he got to be known as the deadbeat. Even if he could be a decent man, no, he a deadbeat. He not paying enough child support. See, it's crazy. Uh, y'all also been saying, oh man, y'all been chopping it up. Let me see what else y'all been saying. Woo wee, hold up. Oh man, hold up. You said, Logan, I mean, being all in one, wearing multiple hats, mastering many things, and having many names. Okay, I get what you mean. I think you was talking about the whole the when you was talking about the dominate side initially. I get what you mean. Uh, oh yeah, that's facts, Lo. That's facts, Lee. We tend to die in gardens, and I want to apologize actually right now to both of y'all because I think on our last live stream I accidentally called Lee Logan. So y'all got hey, both of y'all names start with an L. Not that y'all taking L's, y'all got W's, but and we got W in the chat. But I'm just saying I apologize for the last live stream that I did. I got Lee mixed up with Logan, Lee Logan. But hey, it is what it is. I appreciate y'all being here. But yeah, you said Lee, we tend to die in gardens. Yeah, we always do, man. Tend to die in gardens all the time. You got to uproot. What they talk about uproot or even getting back to your roots. Well, sometimes when you get back to your roots, you got to uproot. No one wants to talk about that though. Let's go. You said also W. That was when that passive aggressiveness occurs. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You said Lee. Relationships, uh, are they even nurturing? Nope. Most of them not. That's a great question, Lee. Most of them are not. What the nature of most relationships are not of nurture. Ooh, did I just say that? Did I just say that? Let's go. Let's go. You said also, Lee, how do you repay the feeling when you are unsuccessful, but they lady still right there? Ooh, how do you repay the feeling when you're unsuccessful, but they lady still right there? You know what? That is the success, is that she is still right there. You know, one of the things that I remember a gal told me many years ago, and hopefully I answered your question properly, Lee. Uh, I remember a gal told me this many years ago. I was like, yo, had I known any better, I would have tried to have you be my wife one day. Now, this is when I was much younger in my 20s, but still, she said something to me that was so profound back then. I kind of let it go over my head, but she said at this time, I was like, man, I'm at an age in my life, and this was like when I was in my 20s, I was dealing with a lot back then. I was like, man, I just really thought I could be somebody right now. I'm not where I really thought I would be at in life. And then she just said the simplest thing. She said, Ray, have you ever thought that right now maybe you are somebody? Have you ever thought that right now you actually are somebody? Man, that went over my head, but after so many years, I thought about that and I was like, you know what? She's so right about what she said. You said also, W, you said it's more than providing. Facts. It is. It's actually a whole lot more than providing. You said, Lee, this is such a needed convo. You already know. That's why I'm here. That's why we're here. Let's get it. And then you said, W, it's the love language. Right. It's about that love language, getting back that language. And I'm fluid in it. You dig? I'm fluid in that love language. Yeah, let's go. You said, Lee, they tear them papers up after a couple of years. Yeah, you already know, especially if there's a prenup, like what the whole Dr. Dre situation was about with his wife, and she didn't like that there was a prenup. And you know what some dudes do? Like when they put that prenup on, this happened to the rapper Benzino. Oh man, he did the simplest thing. When you want to sign them papers like that, I guess you got to go all in. So what happened was he had his chick around, and he like, okay, we're gonna get married, but babe, I want a prenup. Once again, I just said you got to go all in. You got to go all in if you're gonna be like that. So in his case of going all in, this is what I mean. He wanted a prenup with her, and then she said, "Why do we gotta do a prenup? Why you can't just like trust me?" And then she kind of stood up and did a little twerk, and then he looked at her, and then he said, "Hey, do that little thing again. Do that little twerk again. Turn around and do that again." And she did that little twerk again. And guess what he did? He tore up those prenup papers. I'm done. I'm done. Should have went all in, but you didn't. You let the twerk get you. You let the twerk get to you, man. You said, Lee, finding a real sister is a tough one. Facts, man. That's so true. I mean, I got maybe less than a handful of gals that I grew up with that I can say is truly like my sister type. You know what I'm saying? Even if there was a possibility of us being intimate, I only have a few gals that I grew up with. No cap. That I can say is truly like a sister of mine. But even then, like that would have to be something platonic. Like there's no intent or act or even attraction for her. And I think that's rare because, the feminine and the masculine are made to attract. But it is good when you knowing that, yeah, man, you can feel that sister energy from her. Like she's truly there to care and to be part of that nurturing of your nature without trying to take something from you, without even trying to stop you from growing. Sometimes spring gets here and it still be too soon for the flowers. Yeah, it's too soon for the flowers to blossom. And you'll still get someone trying to what? Pluck from the garden. That plant wasn't done growing and you just plucked from it and the plant will die in a few days. Don't let them pluck from you if you know you haven't fully blossomed yet. They should just enjoy your growth. Support your growth. We can really go deeper with this. We really can. We really can. You said, Lee, too much competition. Yeah, too much competition for power in this independent society. Yeah, that's true. That's true. 1 second. All right, all right, all right. I'm back. I'm back. Okay, so but let's go. Like one of the things I want y'all to get out of this live stream is basically this. I had this in mind. Um, in regards to like the theme, because I kind of explained what male nurture is. Basically, it is the tending or the care that you put out there for the masculine gender. There you go. In its simplest form, that's what male nurture is. It is the tending and the care for the masculine gender. That is male nature defined in a nutshell, so that one can exactly know what do I mean by the definition of male nurture. And I hope I didn't just say nature by mistake. I meant nurture, just to correct myself, because sometimes I listen to my replays, and I'll be like, man, how did I say that? I really meant this. But yeah, I want y'all to think about this. I want y'all to think about this, okay? Here's the theme. So I gave you the definition of male nurture. Here's the theme for it. A son's first hero is his dad. A son's first hero is his dad. Unfortunately, as of late, it has seemed that a lot of these sons have had the mother be their first hero, but the mother can't do what the father can do, what the dad can do. Okay. The mother should always be the second hero. The father must be the first hero. There needs to be that balance. Son needs mother and father. You know, mother is actually earth. Some people like to say that she is moon. No, mother is actually earth. Like what? Mother Earth. Okay. But son, son, he is he's more or less like the plant. He's not like the actual sun. He's like the plant in Mother Earth. The sun getting light from the sun, just as the mother gets light from the sun. Okay. Now, the son's first hero is his dad. So, with that said, in regards to male nurture, nurture tended to his nature, tended to the masculine gender. It all supposed to go that way. So, what happens when there's no more sun to the earth for the plant? Well, you get darkness. That's the opposite. So, no longer does the son have his father as his hero. Well, he has his father as a villain. Yeah, Magneto. Let's talk. Let's talk. So this is where my anti-hero comes from. There's not enough real heroes for these boys, these sons. Not enough heroes. Well, your father still has on a cape, but he's not a real hero. He's teaching you how to be a simp. See, Magneto wore a cloak, not a cape. There's a difference. You're teaching your son how to wear a cape instead of a cloak. The cape was for fashion. The cloak was for utility. There's a difference. So that's what happens though. You thinking that you're showing your son all this heroism. You're thinking that's what you're doing. You're teaching him a lot of hedonism instead. And simping is part of that hedonism. You look like a hero, but you're not. You're teaching him how to be another simp, another sinner. For we all have sinned and fell short of his glory. For we all have simped and fell short of his glory of nurturing. Because his glory is nurturing, is it not? Is it not? I'll wait. While I wait, let's see what everybody say. uh yeah, that's facts, Lee. A lot of the feminine want to lead their son. Shouldn't be that way. They should actually tend to their son that is being led, that is being um, shined upon by the sun. See, there's so much that I could bring up about this. Okay, but yeah, we talk about this real thing about the captain saves a hoe or a whore. But see, the hoe actually never wanted to be saved like that. Like we could go so many different ways, the hoe versus the whore of who wants to be saved and who doesn't want to be saved. But the thing is, when you call yourself the captain saver, whoever, she would have to see you as a captain first, right? But see, she would have to see you as her type of captain. Basically, you're the type that you might be steering the ship or the bus, but she tells you where to go. That's the type of captain she wants you to be. But to the righteous and upright of the feminine gender, they're not trying to be like that towards a man. They see that man in his real light, that he's not trying to be a captain, save a hoe or save a whore. Okay. And with that said, I mean, this has really been a lot that I want y'all to think about because you've been hearing a lot of people out here on YouTube talk about male nature lately, but no one has talked about male nurture until now. Hopefully, this live has made sense to some. Maybe this live did not make sense to others, but to the others that this live has made sense to, feel free to hit that like button. especially those listening to this on the replay. And feel free, y'all, if y'all still want to comment, give me your feedback in the chat. For sure, I got y'all. Just trying to round this up a little bit. If this is your first time coming to this channel and you like this type of content that I do, whether it's my uploads or my live streams, definitely more in store. So make sure that you subscribe, share this live, as well as my other content, including my archives. If you go to my playlist section, it consists of many different talking points, different catalogs. I got a community chat now, so feel free to talk to me direct in my community. Otherwise, in the description section of this live stream, for those on the replay, you'll see other platforms that I'm on that you can follow me at. You also see other channels that I have. And also in the description section is a place where you can tip if you want to tip yours truly. Okay? No expectation, no obligation, just appreciation. And make sure that whether you've been at this channel or this is your first time and you want to stick around, you're going to stick around. I appreciate that. Make sure that you hit that notification bell so that you get my uploads in real time. And it's continuing to get better from here, no matter what it looks like out there. As long as we are nurturing our outcomes, our realities, and our perceptions, whether male, female, man, woman, we're nurturing the nature of what is before us. Are we going to do something about it? Are we going to tend to it? Or, like Lee said earlier, are we going to let it decay, let it die off, let it become like a global warming or endangered species type of thing, or hole in the ozone layer, whatever you want to believe, or the melting of the ice caps on the poles? Are you going to nurture it, or are you just going to sit there and let something happen? Like, just let it die before you. Let people die before you. Okay? What you going to do about it? See, over here, we ain't just about these problems. We about solutions. We about practicality. We're about being pragmatic. Okay? It's not enough to talk if you ain't walking it. Or in my case, you got to be flying too. You got to be flying with it. You got to be so fly with it. And since I'm on that astronaut wave, you can't just fly, you got to orbit, but not be a beta male orbiter. Just a little joke. I like joking with y'all sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Got to have a laugh here and there, you know? You got to have fun with what you're doing. And I have fun. I always love chopping it up with y'all. I always appreciate when y'all stop by. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Thanks a million for stopping by. Much love to all of y'all.